We're joined by Mimi Feliciano, founder and CEO of FEM Real Estate. Also, the new Feliciano School of Business at Montclair State University. Good to have you with us.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
By the way, you're fascinated and you love business because?
Well, I guess I'm just so used to it. I started at a young age with my dad, my mom, and it's just been...
Tell us about that, by the way. Were they in business?
Yeah, they started the business. I was a kid, and they were true entrepreneurs. And so I started young. I felt like I was, hands on a farm where we all had to work. They put us to work at weekends, after school and summers. So it was just part of the family.
In business? Just learning every aspect of business?
Well, I was the assistant. They gave me a title, assistant to the president. So I felt so special. I was like 15. And I basically used to just, originally just dial numbers for my father, phone people, people that he wanted to speak with on the phone. Then I learned how to do bookkeeping. I used to write checks. And, and I actually learned accounting. In the little college that I had, I took accounting courses and went further with that. Actually, at Montclair.
At Montclair. So
I took one course at Montclair.
Talk about the connection with Montclair State University, my alma mater, the School of Business, the Feliciano School of Business, named after...
My husband and I, yes.
Made a significant gift to the university. Because?
Well, we started with the Center for Entrepreneurship. That's really where it started. And we made a commitment there because I was invited to go to the business advisory group.
By Dr. Susan Cole, the president up there?
Well, actually, she didn't actually. I was invited through one of her associates.
Yes.
And I went, and I got to know the dean. He was a new dean. And
Dean Kant?
No, right before Dean Kant.
Oh, before him,
Yes,
okay.
yes. That's why I started a few years back, because he just started.
Got it.
Dean Kant, yeah. So I was invited, and I got, to know him a little bit, and he had he handed me a paper one day, a white paper, and he said, read this when you have a chance, just put it on the side. So I went home that night, and I read it, and it was a vision for where business, education, academia, and public policy would come together to actually transform lives. Now, this was such an exciting thing to me because I didn't finish college. I was working, and I, spent so many years, involved in just the real world, and I really wanted it to be more experiential for students, and I thought it was such an exciting concept for me. I jumped out of the chair that night as I was reading it and ran across the room calling my husband, Eddie, we have to do this. This country, we need this in our area, and it inspired me. And so I decided we're going to do this. And
make an investment.
We were going to make an investment because I really felt that it needed to be done. Somebody had to do it. And I believed somebody was going to do it, and I wanted to be the one to do it.
So it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
And the other part of this, you and I were talking right before we got on the air, women as entrepreneurs. You have an entire week, there's an entire week, I believe in October, in which women and entrepreneurism comes together. Yeah. And there's a whole series of discussions that go on. I believe in 2016, some folks from Canada are going to be involved as well, so it's an international piece. Well, what is the goal of that whole initiative?
It's to let women know, whether they're on campus, the female students, or if they're in the real world, to let them know we want to be a resource and we want to be a place where they could go to get support, because it's really hard. And
being a woman entrepreneur?
It's really, it is hard being a woman entrepreneur. Because
harder, do you think, than a guy who's an entrepreneur? You do.
You know what it is? I think that women are overlooked. I think that they are, in many ways, they work hard and they're just not recognized in many ways. And they don't believe in themselves enough. That's another problem. They just really don't put themselves out there.
Really?
No, I think so. That's why that's why most of the students, there's more female students that go to college, more get degrees, and yet, so they're outperforming in many ways, and yet when they get to the business world, there's less than 10% of them in leadership. They were leaders early. They just don't have enough support. They don't believe in themselves enough to put themselves out there, I think.
And you want to say what to them?
So we want to say that you can do it. You need to believe in yourself. And we believe in you. And that's the point. That's something that resonated with me. because I didn't have enough confidence either when I started out in business. And my parents believed in me unequivocally. And they really thought that, you know, I had something, I don't know if they needed me, but I was able to really perform for them. And I never wanted to disappoint them. So I would always achieve knowing they believed in me. I just didn't want to, you know, I didn't want to fail. And that's the confidence that I got from them.
And that's what this Entrepreneur Week,
that's what we want to give to them.
Maybe if I can say this,
Yeah.
the other thing I found out about the program is that it isn't just business majors who participate that week, but any major, any student with any major can participate in this Entrepreneur Week.
And not
Why
only,
is that, by the way?
Well, because, you know, it's not just business. You could be entrepreneurial and you need to be innovative. That's what the country needs to reinvent so many areas of our industry. Whether you have to reinvent yourself for charity, you know, to be more efficient, to find ways to get money, whether you're doing it for science, you could be entrepreneurial. And
Education.
Education, and even, you know, students that are dancers, you know, the arts, they might want to open a studio and they could learn how to become entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
Or entrepreneurs in large corporations if they prefer that route.
The other piece that was fascinating to me, go back to the business school, is it the 3D piece?
Oh.
What is that about?
So excited.
What is it?
Well, there's 3Ds are, you know, 3D printers. Most colleges have 1 or 2 3D printers,
Right.
of course, and even in high schools. But what we want to create is a place where you could learn about the technology and leverage it for innovative, creative ideas to solve real problems. And we have ours hooked up to a cloud. So it's not meant just to be a printer in a room. It's meant to teach people in mass and let them then, you know, connect to our cloud and actually print things, whether they're in a different town locally or maybe in a different country.
Did you have a hand in thinking of this?
Well, I definitely, I'm going to give Dennis credit. He got the connection.
Dennis Bone.
Dennis Bone. He got the
great friend of
3D.
Dennis Bone, who used to be at Verizon, and now he's up at Montclair State University at the Feliciano School.
He's our founding director. So he actually got the printers. But creativity and innovation has definitely been our focus. Women and innovation from the beginning.
You love what you do.
I do.
It's a whole new part of your career, isn't it?
It is. And I love
You're
it.
innovating yourself constantly.
Reinventing, right?
Well, it's great. Listen, Mimi, thank you for joining us, and appreciate you joining the public television family and sharing this story and your gift to one of the great universities in the state.
I was happy to
Thank
do
you.
it. Thank you for inviting me.
Stay right there. We'll be right back right after this.
The preceding program has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence, and 13 for WNET, NJTV, and WHYY. Funding for this edition of Caucus New Jersey has been provided by Oscar Health Insurance, Barnabas Health, Choose New Jersey, NJM, Cone Resnick, the Fidelco Group, and by the Russell Berry Foundation. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. Caucus New Jersey has been produced in partnership with TriStar Studios.